Ashley. Welcome to my podcast. I'm going to be sharing with you my most important learning moments for environmental economics class. It was a very interesting class that I knew next to nothing about before I started, so I had a lot to learn, which is why week 1 was a huge learning moment for me, just learning the basics. I learned about analyzing costs through cost-benefit analysis. You don't just throw money into something without first analyzing it. To go along with that, just because you may see a profit doesn't necessarily mean it's a good idea. You may make more money doing something else, or maybe the profit isn't even enough to be worth your time. To analyze more in depth, you can use financial cost-benefit analysis, which is a more simple analysis where if you get more money than invested, in theory it's a good idea. I mean, who doesn't want money? I mean, you're getting money out of it. This type of analysis is all about maximizing individual profits. Or, on the other hand, you could use the next type of analysis, economic cost-benefit analysis. This is a little bit more in-depth process since we're not just looking at individual anymore, but a larger picture. More factors need to be analyzed, like alternatives, the future, how far into the future you want to look, what people are involved, communities involved, environments involved, etc. Also, whose opinions need to be looked into, and much, much more. This type of analysis is used when looking at large projects that affect the larger economy. Another basic concept I learned about is supply and demand. The two go hand in hand in deciding the value of a product, which leads us right into valuation. For something to have value, people have to like, want, or need something. Then they must feel like they're gaining more by having the product than what they paid for it. In other words, said product is essentially worth more to them than the money they paid for it, which is consumer surplus. If it costs more than what they value at, then they won't buy it. And if they're equal to each other, they'll probably just be indifferent and it could go one way or another. Which is why consumer surplus is so important. There's actually many classes of values when it comes to the environment. Direct benefit, where you're directly using the service of good. Indirect pretty much just means you're benefiting some way just by it existing. Bequest benefit, which is its cultural value, just its existence, so people feeling better or happy that it's just there. And the last class of value is option, which means it has value for just being an option in the future for people. If you add up all those classes of values or benefits, you get the total economic value of a specific ecosystem or environment. I'll give you a few examples of methods used to analyze value. First off is the market-based valuation method, which can most easily be explained by a simple equation of price times quantity equals the total of product produced minus production costs, which gives you the net benefit. Next is the replacement cost method, which is the amount of money it would cost to replace the environmental service with a man-made machine if that environmental service did not exist. My last example is the avoided cost method, which is how much money is being saved due to the existence of the environmental service, meaning if it didn't exist, people's homes, businesses, etc. could be damaged or destroyed, i.e., cost being avoided because of the environmental service existing. My last important learning moment was learning and doing more research about biodiversity. It was so cool to learn just how important it is to us, not only environmentally, but economically. Thanks for listening to my podcast. Let us all continue to do our part to be informed and help the beautiful environment and world we are lucky enough to live in. Ashley out.